be advised, the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good morning, Philippines. You are watching the Business Portal, your gateway to business trends and opportunities, coming to you live via Channel 8, and that's Destiny Cable, and Channel 1 via GSAT. I am your host, Rowena Suarez. Our segment, Investment Academy, shows us different ways how to make money, also financial literacy and awareness. Investment Academy will show you not only how to make money but also how to create wealth. Now for our Just Ask Crow portion. I have a question from Vicky, ending 2095. Not 2095. How much capital to start a fashion business? Where do I start? Well, Vicky, number one, you must love fashion. They say, it seems very glamorous. But when you do that, in fact, I was there before I studied for that. Number one, you have to have a market that you would have to cater to. What do you want? Do you want also like the high-end, more of high-end clothing, or office wear or casual wear? And then after that, you have to go and buy your materials. You have to know how to sew. These are the basics that you will have to know, and before you start the business. And of course, you have to have your market. So that's one thing. We can talk more in detail about that. You can just email me at justaskrow@gmail.com, so I could tell you more in detail. So another one from Joel of Makati. Ending 6742. What is a business with the smallest capital? That's actually a very broad question. No? Maybe our guest later can give you some inputs about that. Small capital, again, what kind of business do you want to get into? Kasi meron namang buy and sell ng maliliit na bagay, yung siguro mga accessories or little things. Even a phone card business, or even a yung load, that's a business. So first and foremost, when you get into business, again, I always say this to my viewers: what kind of business do you want to get into first? Ano yung hilig mo? Kasi if you don't have a passion for the business that you're going to have, it will not really succeed. Again, another texter ending 3080. How will I start a party needs business? Do you know how and where to start? Please help me. I'm only 22. Thanks. Okay, party needs business. What kind of party? Because there's I know several people in the party business. They cater to the children's party. They have the corporate parties. They have the wedding party. So I think before you do that, you have to also know what kind of party business you want to get into, because that will actually start you off. No, let me know. You can text us always at 0917-862-7576. We actually don't have a prompter, the slides today, so just write it down, 0917-862-7576, and you can email us at justaskrow@gmail.com, and Twitter, justaskrow. Hello once again. It's been a couple of weeks since I was away, so it's good to be back here with you on a bright Wednesday morning. Today, as we move on with our learning sessions, we thought it best that we invite a resource person who is an authority in the wealth education. He is a creative director at Learning Curve Incorporated, publisher at Business Info Incorporated, editor-in-chief at MONEYSENSE magazine. Let us welcome Mr. Heinz Bulas. Good morning, Heinz.
Morning, Ro.
How are you today?
Fine. It's a nice morning.
Yeah, it's a nice,
very bright,
very
very cool.
Sunny, yeah. And so you are. Can you tell us a little background on how you got into where you are today?
Okay.
I mean, I saw in your profile that you were in a corporate world before. No?
Yes. Yeah, well, I started as a CPA for SGV. I didn't really last long. It wasn't really for me. And then I went into a small business, and then I got started with a publishing company, but it's mostly about IT. And then after that, I took my MBA, got hired by a bank, worked at the trust department, and then moved back to an internet company, a publishing company. And then after my stint in the corporate world, I decided to go on my own. So yeah, that's how I started the learning curve, and then started working with MONEYSENSE, and the rest is history.
I see. So you said you were an accountant before.
Yeah.
I mean, you majored in accounting.
I majored in accounting. Yeah.
Majored in accounting, but you really didn't like what you.
Yeah, I didn't really like auditing and going through an entire vault and
So
you know,
what made you
doing.
decide to go into that major? I mean, was
Well,
it
at
your
that-
parents?
No, not really. At that time, I was thinking I need something challenging, and also I was thinking what would be an occupation that would be in demand by most companies. So I was thinking accounting would be a good choice at that time. It turned out to be not so well. It's good in a way because it also established some very important foundation for managing a business for me.
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, bottom line of every
Yeah, you
business
need
is the numbers.
Right. You need to know how to read financial statements.
Yes, and then you got into corporate, and from the corporate you got into businesses.
Yes.
So maybe like what our texter said earlier, na what kind of business don't you think that before you get into business you have to know what you really want, because there's so many businesses out there.
I totally agree with what you said. You have to love what you want. You have to do what you really want. So I think it's really a combination of two things. One is your passion. What's the thing that you really want to do, and your inclination. I mean, what you're good at. Because if you really want to do something but you're not good at it, parang it's useless, and vice versa. If you're good at it but it's not your passion, it's really not going to work. So it's a combination of the two
So
things.
with you, so you found out that your passion was what? IT, really?
Well, my passion at the time was personal finance. So, and actually, my passion is really about information. I mean, after several years of trying to find out what I really want, I ended with the conclusion that the information business, that's my niche. Information business is very broad. So we're talking about magazines, about conferences and seminars, about websites. So that's the niche that I found.
So how long before you really found out what you really wanted to do? I mean,
It took me an entire decade.
yeah, diba?
Entire
Kasi
20s, yeah.
It's parang trial and error
Yeah,
thing,
it's
diba?
true. So
after you graduate from college, because we also have actually viewers who are just graduated or graduating, and they always ask me these things. So it's really like a trial and error thing, eh.
Yeah, it took me 10 years. I mean, they talk about the mid-quarter crisis. So I had that when I was 25. What was I doing? I had this small business. I was photocopy and desktop publishing. So one day my two staff were absent. So I was the one photocopying for customers. I was thinking, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
So I said, it's not for me. So it took me a while, and yeah, it was a series of trial and error, experimentation, finding out what you want. But it's really a matter of getting out there and trying. Because if you're stuck in a job and you just say, I'll just stay here because, and you don't do anything, you won't really find out what your so-called destiny is.
So parang the 10 years of the trial and error is parang your tuition fee to where you are today, right?
That's right.
That's your tuition
Yeah,
fee. Uh-huh.
exactly. It's like, your investment in yourself.
Yeah.
Let's say you charge it to experience, and that's
Yes,
exactly what that is.
Yes. So, and that brings you to where you want to be today, being an editor in MONEYSENSE magazine, and which we'll talk about more later. And then we also you also you have that I love learning.
Yeah.
Then you give seminars and basically geared towards finance,
Right.
personal finance.
Right.
So let's talk about MONEYSENSE. So I know that you've started this how many years ago, when we
4
were
years
classmates
ago.
at RFP.
We're classmates.
RFP number 5.
Yeah,
diba?
MONEYSENSE was fairly new at the time. I think 1 year old. We started 2006. There was a group of us, financial journalists. We came together and we thought of coming up with a magazine on personal finance that's not intimidating to people. It's going to be friendly, easy, reader friendly, and easy to read, easy to understand. So we thought there's a market for this. So that's how we started.
And that was how many years ago?
We thought of this business in 2006, and we came up with the first issue January of 2007.
I see. And actually, I know a lot of magazine that came and go, but you stayed. That congratulations.
I'm
no?
surprised also.
Huh?
But you just have to stick to it. The magazine business is really a very difficult business. Like you said, so many magazines come out, and after a couple of issues, they just fade away.
Yes,
But
yes.
you have to stick to it, and you need some backing also. It's a good thing that former Finance Secretary Roberto De Ocampo also came in as an investor, and he's our chairman now. So
I
you need some financial backing, and you need just to persevere.
I also think that's why MONEYSENSE is where it is today, is because you're the only one who talks about personal finance. All the other magazines talk about fashion.
Yeah.
Madami sila. Ikaw, you have that niche. Eh?
Yes.
You have that niche.
So yeah, that's a good observation. You have to find your niche, because if you come up with another lifestyle magazine, fashion magazine,
They're a dime a dozen.
They're a dime a dozen, and they're
Yeah.
very well established. So you look for a niche. So there's no personal finance magazine, and there's a market for it. So that's why we lasted this long.
Yeah, again, diba, going back to any business, you have to find your niche
Yeah.
to be able to have that staying power.
That's true.
So how was it evolved since you started? I mean, how do you find out who to put in the cover and what to write about and all these things?
The cover, well, since we wanted the magazine to appeal to a wide audience, not just to financial savvy people, but really the consumers. We wanted a mix of personalities on the cover. So sometimes we have celebrities, sometimes we have politicians, sometimes we have business people. So it would appeal to a wider audience. And we also, the way it's written, the way it's designed, it's meant to really appeal to attract a lot of people. We're used to reading fashion magazine, lifestyle magazines. So when you read it, it's not really a business magazine. It's like a consumer magazine, except that you talk a lot about money.
Money and personal finance. Like with this, no, what you have right now, you have Hans Sikat from the
PSE.
from PSE, and now you have
Richard Poon,
Richard
singer.
Poon, a singer. So and so you also find out, of course, you have a researcher
Yes.
on who's going to how they build their wealth and how they take care of their wealth.
Yeah,
No?
so you check on their background and see whether they're responsible when it comes to managing their money or their career, or if they have a small business on the side. So that's how we also come up with cover ideas.
What I mean, of course, in every business there's like ups and downs, no. But was there a point in the business that's like, I don't know, should I continue or
Yeah. The first
how
couple
did
of
you
years,
hurdle that?
Well, the first year was fun. We had a nice launch, and then people just love it. I mean, readers were writing, oh, they love it. Parang they enjoy reading it from cover to cover. So the first year was like a honeymoon period for us. And then the second year, the third year, and then started to struggle a little. So there were ups and downs, but you just have to hang in there. And then the advertisers